Hi everybody, welcome to Right to the Top. I'm Adam. In today's video, I want to talk to you about a very common but very easy to fix problem, or mistake I should say, that many people do on the IELTS and TOEFL essay. And more specifically, I'm going to look at the balanced argument. Now, I've spoken about this in other videos, but today I want to focus a little bit more on how to fix this problem. Okay? Because it is common enough. I'm seeing more and more of these essays with the balanced argument that are losing points by something that's very easy to fix. And I'm going to show you how to fix it. Okay? The main thing to remember is that a balanced argument requires a balanced thesis or a balanced opinion statement. Now, the easiest way to understand what I'm referring to is to look at an example. Okay? So a student sent me an essay for an assessment, and he lost points, and he thought he gave very good reasons for both sides of the discussion, and he couldn't understand why he was losing points, especially in the task achievement and the cohesion and coherence scores for the IELTS, okay? This was an IELTS example. So let's look at the example first. Some people say history, capital H, because it's a school subject, is one of the most important school subjects. Very important to keep this in mind, school subject. I'll talk about that in a moment. Other people think that in today's world, subjects like science and technology, capital letters because they're subjects, are more important than history. History is more important, science and technology is more important. That's the two sides of the debate, okay? Those are the two sides. Discuss both these views. So of course you're going to have to look at history, you're going to have to look at science and tech, and give your own opinion. Now here is where the problem starts. Give your own opinion. This does not ask you to choose one side or the other. It simply says to give an opinion. Now most people automatically think that they have to choose. Now, I recommend that you choose one side and give your arguments for it, but you don't have to. You can choose both sides. You can choose neither side, right? You can say neither of these is important. Math is the most important, or art is the most important. I strongly advise against that. Stick to one of these or both. Don't choose neither, because that's a whole other type of essay that you don't have time for. In essence, to get into in 40 minutes. But you don't have to choose one, you can choose both. That's the key here. But if you are going to choose one, make sure that your body paragraphs support that choice. They don't support both choices. But if you do it, if you support both, I'll show you how to fix it. Let's look at this writer's introduction. In the modern world, people believe that studying science and technology is more crucial than learning about history. So some people think that. While others, I fixed all the English, the vocab and the grammar just so we can focus on the task and the cohesion. And I firmly support this idea. I hold that history is the most important subject in a school's curriculum. So this writer very clearly took a side. So far, this essay is excellent. The introduction is very clear. Here's the topic, here's the two sides, here's what I choose. Good. The problem begins right away in the first sentence of the first body paragraph. It is arguable that science and technology play a more vital role in the digital era, means today, which was part of the question, that's fine, than does history, since they can change the world and create a better one. Okay. While history only looks at events that happened. So I believe that history is more important. It's arguable, or you can make an argument that science and technology is more important in the digital era. Okay. If you're going to choose a side, start supporting that side right away. So right away, your cohesion score has gone down because you didn't make a logical connection. You told me that history is more important. I'm expecting you to start supporting that opinion. What you're doing is showing me that the opposite is true. And then the words here, only, history only looks at events that happened in the past. This word only minimizes the role of history. So you're telling me that history, it only looks at the past. It's not that important today. Okay, so why should this be an important school subject? Why should it be in the school's curriculum? So right away, you've countered your own thesis, okay? And then the paragraph goes on, and if you read it, you'll notice there is nothing else here to support studying history. So in essence, this entire paragraph is supporting science and technology as the more important school subjects. And right away, you've lost points because you've contradicted your own thesis statement, your own opinion statement. There are other problems here. I won't get too deep into it. I'll just mention them quickly. This writer didn't elaborate on why the science and technology are so important. He just dove right into the examples. Good examples, but he said to illustrate. To illustrate what? You haven't made an argument yet. So make sure you elaborate on your ideas. And in the entire paragraph, the only thing that comes close to school is this word here, student, okay? The one mention of student here is not enough. Keep in mind, we're talking about history, science, technology as school subjects. At some point, you have to talk about school. You have to talk about students, okay? So that's another problem. Now, the second body paragraph obviously talks about why history is important. You learn from history to move to the future, basically, right? There's a connection. But I want to look at the conclusion that this person wrote. Undoubtedly, science and technology studies favor the 21st century. So these two subjects are more important now in the 21st century. But history is the basic subject that we cannot neglect. But history is also very important. So, history is the most important. Well, actually, today, science and technology are the most important, but history is also very important. Clearly one side, against your side, balanced conclusion. So this person lost a lot of points for task achievement and cohesion and coherence because things don't make logical sense. So I rewrote this essay, okay, for this student. And don't worry about the beginning. The main thing I want you to focus on is the thesis statement, okay? I personally believe that all three subjects, history, science, technology, are equally vital features of a strong curriculum. Now, I did this after I made sure that my two body paragraphs are solid. But I didn't completely change. I kept the students' ideas. I just cleaned it up a little bit. I elaborated. I talked a little bit more about the students in school because that's the topic. And then I have a balanced argument for science and technology and a balanced argument for history. Both of them are good. Both of them are important. And then I changed the thesis statement to reflect that. And the conclusion also. Science and technology are essential subjects in the 21st century. However, history is the base on which progress lies. You need science and technology, but you need history to hold up science and technology. They all work together. Very balanced from first paragraph to last paragraph, and then you get your higher task achievement score. If this student, let's go back to his, all he needed to do here is not say that history is the most important. All he needs to say is that history is as important as science and technology in the school's curriculum. And then already his score would go up because he has basically consistency. Balanced thesis, balanced body, okay? And then it works like that as well. Now, if you find yourself, and the problem is that a lot of people don't realize they're doing this until it's too late. Let's say I'm going to give you 3 essay tasks, sample tasks. If you find at the end of the writing, you should leave yourself, a few minutes to do a quick little edit, have a quick little scan. If you find that your argument is balanced, you don't need to try to change anything in the body. All you need to do is change your thesis statement, and then you have a solid, consistent essay, right? And it doesn't matter to what extent do you agree or disagree, discuss both sides and give your opinion. You can balance basically anything. This is your essay. You are in control. The thesis statement, the purpose of the thesis statement is to tell the reader what you aim to do with the essay. And if you aim to give a balanced argument and then give a balanced argument, you've accomplished your mission, right? You'll get a good score for that. So government should spend money on railways rather than roads. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So again, most people will choose railways or roads and then make their argument. If they make more arguments for the one side, great. But if they go into body paragraph 1 and say railroads are very important because of this and government should spend money on them. On the other hand, roads are very important and government should spend the money on them because of these reasons, then at the end the reader is saying, okay, well, both are important. Why did you choose roads over railroads in your introduction? It doesn't make sense. Your score goes down. All you need to do is just balance it out. Go back to your thesis, erase your thesis statement that you took one side, and change it to an equal argument. I fully believe, fully means to what extent, that governments have a duty to find ways to fund both infrastructure developments equally. Both of them are important, both of them should get the same amount of money. Here's why. Railroads need it, roads need it, conclusion, you're set. Using a computer every day can have more negative than positive effects on children. Do you agree or disagree? Now, a lot of people will think that this question can't be balanced. But then they'll give body paragraph 1, they'll list all the negative consequences of daily computer use. Body paragraph 2, they'll give me all the positives of it. And again, you have a balanced argument, but you clearly agreed with this statement in the introduction. You're losing points. How do you fix it? I personally think that in moderation, daily computer use can be beneficial for children, whereas excessive use can certainly be harmful. So daily use could be good or bad, depending how much time you spend on it. Body paragraph 1, if you use it in moderation, if you control the time the child spends on the computer, it could be very beneficial. Body paragraph 2, on the other hand, if a child spends too many hours looking at the screen, there are certainly negative effects, and here they are, right? And then you have a balanced argument. Everything agrees all the way through. Your score goes up. Oh, sorry. Some people think that using a car is the best way to travel around the city. Others say that using a bike is the most effective. Discuss both sides and give your opinion. Again, they're not forcing you to choose. If they wanted to force you to choose, discuss both sides and say which you prefer. Then you have to choose a side. But again, even then, you can squeeze it into a balanced argument. You can just say, I actually prefer to have both. And that's fine too. In my opinion, this is the thesis statement, not the whole introduction. In my opinion, an urban dweller, a person who lives in a city, who can afford it, would do well to have both a car and a bicycle, as each has its particular advantages. Okay? So I'm telling you, I'm going to look at advantages of both of them. I think they're both very useful. If you can, have both. And then, why is a car good? Why is a bicycle good? Conclusion, you're done. Okay? Here's the essay that I rewrote. If you want to look at it, it's all there in full. Don't worry if it's too small. Don't worry if you don't have time. I do have this. I have the original essay and this rewrite on my website. There's a link in the description box. You can go read it at your leisure. Again, remember, you have to elaborate, give the examples, make sure you talk about school or students, because that's what the task asks. It's not about history, science, and technology as general fields of inquiry. It's these things as school subjects. Don't forget about the school. And very balanced thesis, balanced conclusion, your task achievement, your cohesion score goes up, okay? And this is the key, this is the pointer. If you see that you've made a balanced argument, don't panic. You have 3-4 minutes, that's all the time you need to go change your thesis statement. And by changing the one sentence, you've recreated the whole purpose of the essay, and you've lived up to it in the body paragraph, your score goes up, okay? Simple, straightforward, practice it. Another suggestion I can take is any question that you get, write an essay for it, and then change it. Write a balanced argument. Try to change the thesis and try to see what points you need to make it a little bit different. And just try to change all the questions you get. If you get what are the advantages and disadvantages, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Change up your questions and change up your thesis and see how this works for you. It's all about practice, practice, practice. But again, most important, relax. Don't panic. Not the end of the world. Everything can be fixed somehow. Okay? If you have any questions about this, please ask me in the YouTube comment section. If you like the video, give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and come back for more videos about grammar, vocab, writing, etc. Okay? See you next week.